Hikaru is out here feeling himself, flashing a prank on his phone like it is peak comedy. He thinks he is impressing the ladies, but let's be real, his humor is questionable at best. Karma strikes instantly. He slams right into a stranger, radiating pure final boss energy. The guy does not get mad though. He just smiles and drops a creepy line about twists of fate. That is definitely not foreshadowing at all. Hikaru tries to apologize, and the girls hit the sprint button like their lives depend on it. He barely gets a word out. He realizes his friendly smile looks way more like a death threat. He checks his game for advice. Useless. Meet Sawatari Hikaru. The streets fear him as Oniwatari, the legendary delinquent. In reality, he is just a lonely kid with a chronic case of resting murder face. He has a secret that would ruin his street cred forever. He is a Yuri Danshi, a man who worships the sacred art of girls' love with burning passion. Since his scary face keeps him single and lonely, he escapes into Garden of Etoile. It is the only place where the world makes sense. He dreams of walking the halls of the Yumamosaki Girls' Academy. He imagines meeting his fated heroine, the perfect and graceful Misono-sama. Reality is a cruel mistress. He is stuck hauling cargo, sweating through his shirt. He grips his phone and makes a desperate wish. Just delete this character save and let him be reborn as a girl. Boom, wish granted. The teacher steps up and introduces the new transfer student, Sawatari Hikaru, to the unsuspecting class. The energy in the room shifts as everyone turns to look at the fresh meat. She scans the room and her brain nearly short circuits. It is actually real. She looks at her reflection and realizes she really got reborn as a cute anime girl. She is thinking, okay, do not panic, just be cool. And then she spots the target. Right there, staring back with a confused look, is the goddess herself, Misono. The world slows down to a crawl as Hikaru processes the divine presence. Impulse control has officially left the chat. Hikaru moves faster than the frame rate can handle, snatching Misono's hands and screaming a love confession at maximum volume. Zero hesitation, absolutely no shame. The entire room goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop 3 miles away. The awkwardness is so thick you would need a chainsaw to cut through it. But the teacher? She just assumes Hikaru is a hardcore stan. In a stroke of accidental genius, she assigns Hikaru the seat right next to her idol. Talk about failing upwards. Hikaru practically headbutts the desk trying to apologize for the cringe, her face burning hotter than the sun, but Misono just laughs it off. Task failed successfully. Misono doesn't just tolerate the cringe, she invests in it. She extends the hand of friendship, and just like that, Hikaru unlocks the bestie achievement. As Misono runs the tutorial mission, Hikaru's brain starts buffering. She stares at the clock tower, then the layout, and realizes it is a one-to-one match with her favorite game. She didn't just transfer schools, she switched dimensions. Is it a dream? Did she get game ended? Hikaru decides she doesn't care. If this is a delusion, she is riding it until the wheels fall off. They hit the terrace for the weekly tea ritual, but the staff is already packing up. Talk about bad timing. Suddenly, gravity chooses violence. A teacup goes rogue, launching a scalding attack right at Hikaru. Critical hit. Misono spirals immediately. She is terrified the limited edition merch is broken. Oh, and she is worried about the stain too, I guess. Hikaru tanks the damage with zero effort, calling it fate. Misono sees pure elegance, but inside, Hikaru is just thanking the RNG gods for this new life. She skips away to change, literally vibrating with joy. Misono is left confused, wondering why this girl is so happy about smelling like wet leaves. Hikaru struts into the locker room ready to embrace the culture. The shirt comes off and the confidence is at an all-time high. He is chanting in his head that this is strictly professional business. But then comes the inventory check. Upstairs is flat as a board. Downstairs requires a deeper inspection, so he decides to take a little peek under the hood just to be sure. And there it is, the glitch. The unauthorized item in the bagging area. A full-blown sausage party of one. He loses his mind because he was promised a Yuri paradise, not a gender bender plot twist. Being a dude here isn't just awkward, it is a straight-up felony. And right on cue, the door handle turns slowly. Enter Mitsumoto, the student council enforcer. Hikaru curls into a ball of pure terror because this girl eats rule breakers for breakfast. She drops the no boys allowed reminder and Hikaru feels his soul leave his body. His brain pulls up the wiki page on the game lore. In this world, male trespassers do not just get expelled, they get the medieval treatment. We are talking public humiliation, stocks, and getting sent to the lobby in the worst way possible. But suddenly, a miracle happens. Mitsumoto screams when she realizes she is the one having a wardrobe malfunction. She bolts out the door like she left the stove on. She sprints down the hall, hyperventilating and desperate to find some clothes. Crisis averted for now. Hikaru scrambles back, putting some serious distance between them. Inside his head, he is absolutely roasting himself. He knows he got way too comfortable in character back there, and that is a rookie mistake that could cost him everything. But honestly, look at this setup. It is a total trap. A literal garden of beautiful girls designed specifically to lower his guard. It is psychological warfare wrapped in a pretty package. He shakes it off, locking his focus back in. Having a cute face is not a flex when you are exactly one slip up away from being sent to the lobby permanently, because the universe just made the rules crystal clear. In this sacred world of Yuri, men are not just unwanted guests. They are a glitch, a corrupt file, an error code that needs to be scrubbed from the hard drive. He slams the heavy double doors of the Rosemary suite, locking them tight. He needs exactly 0 witnesses for this inventory check. The clothes hit the floor. He steps in front of the vanity to assess the damage. The reflection shows a top-tier waifu, but gravity confirms the bad news. The hardware downstairs is still strictly original equipment. He grips the table, praying this is just a glitch in the matrix. He faceplants into the pillow, begging for a wake-up call that simply is not coming. The reality sets in. Men are banned. He is a walking violation of the terms of service. He screams at the devs up in the sky because the timing is absolute trash. But then he takes a second look. Okay, wait. He is actually kinda slaying. Aside from the extra joystick, he is visually perfect. He realizes he can just lie. He memorized the strategy guide. He knows every spawn point and enemy patrol route. He decides to commit to the bit and catfish the entire academy. He pumps his fist, screaming his new identity to the empty room. I am gonna be the best girl. And naturally, that is the exact frame Misono walks in on. Timing, 0 out of 10. Hikaru goes into full damage control mode. Misono points at a lily, asking about the pistol and stamen, which is way too close to home. He completely loses it, screaming nonsense about biology class while trying to cover his tracks. He hits the deck, confessing everything. He is not a girl, he is a fraud with nowhere else to go. He begs her to keep it quiet, but Misono hits him with the instant no, ruthless. He collapses, wailing about his tragic backstory. Suddenly, the waterworks start. Misono is crying harder than he is. She buys the sob story completely, furious at his parents for treating him like an NPC. She grabs his hands, swearing a blood oath to protect him. Mission passed. Alley acquired. Hikaru is safe. But nothing in this world is free. Misono blushes, asking for a tiny transaction fee. She leans in, asking to inspect the goods, specifically the naked ones. Hikaru realizes he might have just traded one problem for a way bigger one. Misono drops the family lore bomb. Since her house is a strictly girls-only zone, she has never actually seen a guy up close. It is like she just discovered an alien species in her living room. Curiosity overrides her common sense. She lunges for his waistband, trying to inspect the merchandise while he frantically defends his virtue like a goalie in the final minute of the game. Hikaru plays the indecency card. The accusation hits her like a semi-truck, shattering her worldview instantly. She realizes she is acting like a total creep. She immediately switches to damage control mode. She drops into a deep bow, desperately apologizing for her egregious thirst. But she has a solution. To keep his secret safe, she decides they are going to be roommates. It is non-negotiable. She is basically holding his privacy hostage for a sleepover. Hikaru steps into the lion's den. He is now living with the girl who just tried to strip search him. This is fine. Everything is fine. Inside, Misono presents a privacy screen. It is a flimsy shield against her curiosity, but it is better than nothing. It is basically a suggestion rather than a wall. She swears she will not peek. That playful grin, however, suggests the fan service danger level is still flashing red. Hikaru realizes the script has flipped. This is not how the game usually goes, but having a powerful ally feels good. He decides to trust the process. Misono gets cozy, joking that her mom would literally self-delete from shock if she saw this. Lights out. Let us hope he survives the night. The next morning hits them with a flashbang of sunlight, but before Hikaru can even rub the sleep out of his eyes, the matrix glitches. A massive holographic menu floats right in the middle of the room like a pop-up ad you cannot close. He recognizes this layout instantly. It is the daily mission tab. Complete the chores, get the points, and unlock the events. It is classic RPG mechanics tailored specifically for a dating sim. The problem is the gameplay loop. In a video game, watering plants is a single button press. In reality, it is just manual labor. He considers ignoring the whole thing to go back to sleep because who actually wants to do chores? But then, the otaku spirit possesses him. He refuses to be a casual. If the game wants him to water plants, he is going to water them with maximum passion. You have to respect the grind. He scans the list for an easy win to start the streak. The garden mission looks simple enough. It is finally time to touch grass. They head out to the courtyard. Misono instantly gets distracted by the blooming yellow roses. Hikaru clocks the lore immediately. He knows those are her favorites because he actually pays attention to the plot. But Misono is barely looking at the petals. He's too busy panicking over the fact that she slept next to a dude. The taboo thrill is written all over her face. She is absolutely losing her mind. Hikaru catches the vibe and humbles himself instantly. He knows the rules of this genre. In a world built for Yuri romance, a man is about as welcome as a cockroach at a wedding. The next morning kicks off with Misono having a full-blown main character moment with a bug. She stares deep into its soul, wondering if it feels as small and insignificant as she does. Heavy stuff for 6 a.m. She rolls out of bed, expecting to see her roommate, but Hikaru is already MIA. The guy is up and grinding before the birds even start chirping. He did not leave empty-handed though. He left a little peace offering sitting right there on the table. She finds him in the hallway, looking like the perfect maid. He explains he snagged the bouquet from the gardening club. This man is farming affection points like it is a speed run. Misono reaches out to bridge the gap, but Hikaru physically recoils. He sees the contact coming and shifts his weight back instantly. He hits the dodge button like she is on fire. Dead air. The awkwardness in the room is so thick you could cut it with a dull spoon. Misono snaps. She screams, demanding to know why he is treating her like she is radioactive. Hikaru starts sweating bullets, claiming he cannot just touch a noble lady casually. She calls Cap immediately. She reminds him he grabbed her hand just fine when they first met. Hikaru's defense? He says, "My judgment was clouded. Nice save, bro." Hikaru needs an exit strategy immediately. If he stays for breakfast, Misono will grill him until he cracks. He throws out a lie about scavenging for free food at a committee meeting and tactical sprints out the door before she can load the next question. He hits the hallway and treats his daily schedule like a Spec Ops mission log. Objective 1. Infiltrate the student council. Target acquired. Kitaru Itsuki is lurking in the library. Kitaru hits him with the standard NPC greeting, apologizing for missing him yesterday. It is almost too polite. The air gets heavy. Kitaru mentions he saw something interesting last time. Before Hikaru can process the threat, Kitaru's hand moves in a blur and snags his shoulder strap. Hikaru freezes. His internal alarm bells are screaming at max volume. Is this a fight? It is not a fight, it is a fashion police raid. Kitaru pulls out a mental ruler and claims the skirt is 6 millimeters too short. 6 millimeters. This guy is running a military inspection on a school uniform. Then he invades personal space. He tries to adjust the waistband personally. Hikaru reads the movement and shifts his weight back to dodge the assist. If Kitaru touches him, the disguise fails and it is game over. Kitaru reaches for the backstrap and his fingers hit absolutely nothing. The realization hits him like a truck. No armor, no support gear. It is an absolute scandal. Hikaru plays the I forgot card. It is weak. Just as the awkwardness peaks, Misono kicks down the door like a support character clutching a care package. She roasts him for being a dummy while literally waving the missing equipment in the air. Misono flips the switch to perfect angel mode, introducing Hikaru as her shy roommate to delete the suspicion. She is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. She points him to the student council room for a quick change. Hikaru clings to her like she is the last chopper out of the war zone, but Misono immediately jokes about taking payment. In skin, inside the safe house, she reveals the loot. She raided the dorms for tactical support gear since Hikaru is currently running a zero defense build. She presses a camisole against his back to check the specs. Hikaru freezes. It is cute, but the proximity is frying his CPU. Then, she looks lower. She demands a visual inspection of the current loadout. For science, obviously. Hikaru tries to stall, but Misono hits him with aggressive helpfulness. She is not asking, she is auditing. Defeated, he grabs the hem. He closes his eyes, swallowing his pride to expose the inventory to his ally. Disaster strikes. Hikaru walks in looking for a pencil and finds a crime scene. The timing is diabolical. Skirt up. Secret out. The RNG gods have abandoned him. Hikaru accepts his game over. Keitaru stares at the evidence and connects the dots. Wait, a boy? Misono nukes the realization from orbit. She screams that Hikaru is a boy clothes enthusiast training for the cross-dressing beauty contest. It is a 200 IQ lie, and she doubles down to save the run. The whole campus is losing its mind over the gentleman contest. The rumor mill is already toxic. Students are whispering that Hikaru is wearing men's boxers just to practice for the role. My guy is sweating bullets because that is literally just his underwear. Keitaru rolls up with that intense student council energy. He demands they participate to boost school spirit, staring them down like a drill sergeant. Then he drops a compliment that hits like a truck. He says Hikaru would look stunning in men's clothes. I cannot tell if that is an accidental roast or genius foreshadowing. Hikaru spirals. His brain goes into overdrive thinking his cover is blown. He is calculating every possible escape route while trying not to pass out. The paranoia is real. Meanwhile, the popular girls are fighting over who gets to adopt the transfer student. It escalates into a high-frequency laugh battle that shatters glass. Absolute villain behavior. Hikaru tries to process the metagaming. He is a guy, posing as a girl, signing up to cross-dress as a guy. The logic loop crashes his brain like a cheap laptop. The bell saves him from a stroke. Keitaru bounces, and Misono immediately apologizes for the mess. She admits the cross-dressing contest lie was a panic move to hide his gender. Hikaru loves it. It is the perfect double bluff. Who would suspect a dude of entering a drag contest as a dude? Now, they just need a fit. Misono steps up. She is taking full control of the wardrobe department like she is preparing for Fashion Week. She cycles through the options. We got the butler, the Secret Service, and the Yakuza boss. Then she suggests the classic prince look. Hikaru calls her my princess and instantly regrets being born. Misono screams. Apparently that level of riz is illegal. But Keitaru is watching from the shadows. He notices they are moving like a duo. He knows something does not add up about this girl.